Hi, today I'll be showing you around the HireNature garden planning tool. When we first enter the application, it will be brought directly to the planning module. Here, we can see the graphical area. The buttons to allow adding beds and paths to your garden are always located by default in the top left corner of the graphical area. Pressing the red corner of the beds allows you to move it, while the blue corner lets you expand or shrink it. You can always use the panel on the top right to check the precise dimensions. With the current version of the garden planning tool, you can only edit the name of the beds for the properties section and not the measurements. The grid in the graphical area can help you for the measurement, the location, and the size of the beds and paths. The small squares are 2 by 2 inches or 51 by 51 millimeters, and the big squares are 12 by 12 inches or 306 millimeters by 306 millimeters. For my garden, I'll have 3 beds created. The paths can be installed inside the beds or outside of the beds. If you have a rock or any type of constraint, you can add a path to represent it. The algorithm will adjust accordingly. Now to delete a specific path, you can select it and go to the Properties section in the top corner and click on Delete. To clear all the paths, select Clear All under the Path section. The same can be applied for beds. Once your dimensions are done, you can select which crops to select for the garden. With HireNature, you have access to more than 100 crops, and by clicking on their name, it will bring you to their respective Wikipedia page for more information if needed. Keep in mind that with the freemium version, you are limited to 4 types of crops of any kind for optimization, while with the license, you won't have such limits. We recommend upgrading to the gardener license as it offers a wider control over your garden area. You can select crops either by unit, by the surface area, or by the percentage of area for your garden. You can either do a mix of all 3 options, or using the general unit dropdown, select a desired unit for all the crops that do not have their values set yet. To increase flexibility, the Fix and Fill dropdown lets you decide if you want the exact amount for the specific crop or if you let the algorithm fill the garden. In the latter case, the algorithm will adjust your request to use up 100% of the garden. Every crop you selected can have either status, either Fix or Fill. That way, you can visualize any scenario that will fit your needs in the best way possible. We do recommend having at least 1 crop set to fill in order to optimize the space for your garden. For this demo, I have already selected my crops, and as you can see, I am making some adjustments. Next, you can designate the south according to your garden layout by rotating the compass icon. Here, for my example, the south is located at the right of the garden. The algorithm will then be able to take that into consideration in order to place the vegetables in an optimal way. You can always access various gardening tips and optimization criteria on HireNature.com. Now that we are ready, you can launch optimization. Once you get the results, if you want to modify something, it can be done. You can simply select the crop and drag it to the new desired spot. There can be an overlap between the tiles and paths due to a parameter in the current version. We encourage you to save your configuration at any point, and your actions can be tracked through the history table every time you save or optimize. Note that before the optimization is performed, your configuration is saved, just in case something goes wrong during the process. You can open up an older save or ask for a specific optimization again. With the default freemium plan, you can get up to 5 optimizations per year. By upgrading to the gardener's license, not only do you get up to 15 optimizations per year, but you also get a larger gardening area. You can also print your plan and table associated to your garden. To print, you can click on the Print button. You might get a tab that asks you for permission to download, and you can go ahead and allow it. It will load your plan alongside the legend. The legend will specify the size of your crop tiles. The table will also be able to give you all the useful information to get ready to plant all the crops you want to grow, such as the tile colors, the plant's name, the number of tiles, and the spacing between the plants. From the crops selected, the algorithm will track the one with the largest footprint, and that becomes the size of the tiles. For my garden, I use the imperial system. You can always change it for metric measurements by going to the parameter module. Note that in the support module, you'll find other videos to guide you through your planning. Once you got your plan, you can go ahead and start your garden for real. Happy gardening and have a wonderful gardening season.